Do you make homemade meals? Do you like to save time? Well, you clicked on this video, so the answer is probably yes. And I've got 5 ideas coming up. Hey everybody, and welcome to Dennis from Scratch, where I talk about making healthy, tasty food. If you're new to the channel, I do health videos, I do cooking tips, and I do recipes, so consider subscribing. If you're not new to the channel, I do those exact same things. Today, I want to share 5 ideas how you can be faster in the kitchen so that you can get more done and make more of your own food. It's more nutritious, it tastes better, and it's a matter of pride. If you can make your own food, that is a really good feeling inside. My number 1 tip is keep your kitchen clean and organized. This means that every morning after breakfast, I'm gonna make sure that my kitchen doesn't have dishes piling up, that the counters are mostly clear so that I have room to work. And I'm also gonna make sure at this time that I don't have things in the back of the fridge that are spoiling. If things are back there and they're gonna be going bad, I pull them up to the front and then I make a mental note. I need to make something that contains this ingredient soon, otherwise it's gonna spoil. This is honestly super important. A clean work environment frees up our mind to focus on our task, in this case cooking. It gives you more space to work. It reduces grocery trips because you don't have stuff spoiling in the back of the fridge. You're using all of your ingredients. It ensures necessary dishes and utensils are available for use, and it puts you in a better mood so that you can do creative problem solving while you're cooking, and you can be a little bit more adventurous in your cooking. You don't have to be bogged down by the thought that you need to do all this stuff in the kitchen or that you don't have space. So keep your kitchen clean and organized. It makes you faster and it's just so much of a better experience. Number 2, bulk process your ingredients. So let's say you've got some romaine lettuce heads that you want to chop up for a salad. Well, take one out, chop it up, wash it, put it away. But then before you get rid of your cutting board, your knife, your salad spinner, whatever you're using to cut and wash that lettuce, take another head of lettuce out and do the exact same thing. It takes you, 3 minutes extra? Another thing that you might want to consider is after your grocery trip, let's say later that day or the next day, anything that can be prepared in advance, prepare it all at once. If you were going to prepare all of those things individually before you used them, maybe it would take you 15 minutes to do this one, 15 minutes to do that one on a different day. It's not really a time that you can get into a groove. But if you put them all into processing on that one day, take maybe 2 hours to process all your ingredients for that week or however long it takes you. Put on a podcast. That's what I love doing, is when I'm bulk processing, I get to listen to a podcast or call my brother, and I don't really have the opportunity to do that if I was going to do it all in separate segments throughout the week. But if I put it all together, I've got time to plug in my podcast, to zone into my project of processing, and to get it all done in one swoop. So the benefits, it reduces the number of dishes that you have to rewash. Also, you've got time to listen to a podcast, and it can be done whenever you have time and not right before you're trying to prepare your meal. Tip number 3, cook for leftovers. I'm talking make an extra meal potentially. So if you're making lasagna, for example, you're gonna have to prepare the vegetables, you're gonna have to prepare the sauce, the meat, the noodles. All these things take a lot of time to get in place, but it takes almost no time to double that recipe and make 2 separate lasagnas. One that you cook that night and the next that you cook the next day, or you freeze it and take it out of the freezer next week to prepare it. It saves so much time when you're able to double up on recipes this way. But don't just think of it as doubling up on recipes. Think of it as just make a little bit of extra. So let's say you're making pork chops and baked potatoes. I'll usually throw in a few extra baked potatoes, not because I think we're going to need them, but because I want those to be refrigerated so that I can take those out later, maybe the next day, and chop them up and put them into my one-pot meal or whatever I'm making. Maybe I'm making a baked potato soup. Well, it's so much easier if you already have the potatoes baked. So plan to make leftovers and find a way to use those. You get homemade meals without the time and work that it takes normally to make them. Number 4, get your kids involved. Kids are great helpers. Sometimes, it depends on the task that they have. So give them age-appropriate tasks and start them really early, whether it's helping you empty the dishwasher and put dishes away, or washing vegetables, or whatever it is, helping you put ingredients into the bowl when they're really little. All of these things help the kid learn valuable life skills and lessons. It teaches them how to cook, and it teaches them that hard work can result in something delicious when they're cooking. Start them with little tasks when they're little and graduate them to bigger tasks when they're bigger. By the time I was 7, me and my brother were making bread by ourselves. We were making eggs Benedict when we were 12. I roasted my first turkey when I was about 12 as well. Kids are very underestimated when it comes to the kitchen, but they need to be trained. Start training them. It'll teach them valuable life lessons and skills. It takes some of the burden off of you, and it's a great bonding experience with your kids. And my 5th and final tip is to meal plan. Have a solid idea of what you're going to make for dinner in advance of actually going over to the fridge and seeing what you have in the fridge. Possibly make a meal calendar or a list. It might really help you. I've got a video coming up where I'll go over a meal planner and how I make one, and I'll even provide an example for you to see what a meal planner that I made might look like. I'll try and put the video in the corner when it's available. But meal planning can really help make your grocery shopping easier because you're more focused on what you need, and it really reduces time and stress spent trying to figure out what's for dinner. When people come to you and they say, hey, what's for dinner? Well, you already know, and you don't need to go, I don't know, and then you dread going over there and starting it. You already have a plan and you know that you have what you need. So those are my 5 tips. If you got value out of the video, hit the like button because it helps the YouTube algorithm promote my video to other people so that they can get value out of it, and subscribe to the channel because that way you'll know when I put up new videos about cooking healthy, tasty food. And finally, share the video on Facebook, send it to a friend. Personal recommendation is the best way that I can grow this channel to be something that can help a lot of people. So, yeah, that's about it.